I never imagined that the boy I carried in my womb for 9 months, the one I rocked through endless feverish nights, would one day look me in the eye and ask me to destroy my own happiness. It was a crisp autumn afternoon in our little house in Vermont, the leaves turning gold outside the window like a painting I used to admire with my first husband. My second marriage to Henry had just begun, 6 months of quiet joy after years of widowhood's hollow ache. We were sipping tea in the kitchen, the steam curling up like fragile hopes when my son Michael burst through the door. His face was twisted, not with worry, but with that entitled rage I'd seen growing in him over the years. "Mom," he said, his voice low and sharp like a knife hidden in velvet, "you have to do this for me, for the family." And then he laid it out, the terrible thing. He wanted me to accuse Henry of theft, to plant evidence in our home, old jewelry from my mother, and call the police. "It'll get him out of the picture," Michael whispered, leaning close, his breath smelling of coffee and desperation. "The house, the savings, it's ours, not his. He's just after your money." My heart stopped. Betray the gentle man who'd mended my broken spirit? Lie to ruin him? I felt the world tilt, the teacup slipping from my fingers, shattering on the cold tile floor like the trust I'd built my life on. How could my own son ask me to commit such a sin? But as the pieces scattered, I knew this was the end of pretending. This was the moment everything changed. That day replays in my mind as I fold the laundry now, alone in the quiet of my bedroom. The sheets smell of lavender soap, the same I used when Michael was little, tucking him in with stories of brave knights and faraway lands. I smoothed the creases with arthritic hands, feeling the soft cotton under my fingertips, worn from years of washing away the stains of life. Outside, snow dusted the garden where I used to kneel, pulling weeds with dirt under my nails, planting tomatoes that I'd canned for winter soups. The house creaks in the wind, an old friend whispering secrets. Mornings, I shuffle to the kitchen in my slippers, the floor chilly against my feet, brewing coffee that fills the air with its bitter warmth. I slice bread, butter it slowly, remembering how I'd pack lunches for Michael, peanut butter and jelly, crust cut off just so. These small rituals ground me, reminders of the woman I was before the betrayals piled up like unread letters on the hall table. Oh, the memories flood back unbidden, sweet and sharp as thorns. I see myself in flashbacks, young and strong, sacrificing everything for that boy. After his father died in that car accident, God rest his soul, I worked 2 jobs, waitressing at the diner with its greasy counters and endless coffee refills, then cleaning offices at night, the hum of vacuums drowning my exhaustion. I'd come home at dawn, feet throbbing, to make breakfast before school. "Mommy's got you," I'd say, hugging him tight, his small arms around my neck like a lifeline. I skipped meals so he could have new shoes, sold my wedding ring to pay for his college books. Remember the necklace? That silver chain with the heart locket, engraved with his birth date. I gave it to him on his 18th birthday, tears in my eyes. "This is my love for you always," I whispered. He wore it for a week, then tucked it away. Years later, when he married Sarah, I gifted them the down payment for their house, scraping from my savings, my hands trembling as I signed the check. "For your future," I said. But Sarah's smile was thin, her eyes calculating, like she was appraising a piece of furniture. They promised visits, calls. Tomorrow, always tomorrow. Tomorrow never came. The calls dwindled, visits became holidays only, where I'd cook turkey with sage stuffing, the aroma filling the house, only for them to eat quickly and leave, complaining about traffic. The betrayal didn't strike like lightning. It crept in like fog over the lake. After I met Henry at the community center, his kind eyes, his stories of lost loves matching my own, they resented him from the start. "He's too old for you, Mom," Michael sneered over the phone, his voice laced with sarcasm. Sarah chimed in during visits, her words dripping honeyed poison. "Are you sure he's not just after the inheritance? We worry about you." They dropped by unannounced, eyeing the furniture, the china cabinet with its delicate plates. Once Michael asked for a loan, just temporary, for the business, and I gave it, watching my bank account shrink like melting ice. But repayment? Excuses piled up. "Next month, Mom. Promise." The disrespect grew bolder. During my bout with pneumonia last winter, I lay in bed, coughing into tissues that smelled of menthol, the room dim and lonely. They didn't visit. A card arrived late and signed. When Henry proposed, their fury erupted. "You're replacing Dad." Michael shouted at the engagement dinner, his fork clattering on the plate. Sarah whispered to him, her hand on his arm, gaslighting me with, "We're just concerned you're rushing. Think of the family." Family? I'd built it with my sweat and tears, only for them to chisel away at it. Then came that afternoon, the terrible ask. My heart shattered like that teacup, pieces irretrievable. In the silence after he left, I sat at the kitchen table, staring at the broken shards, each one a symbol of our fractured bond. The necklace, he'd pawned it years ago, I learned later. The house, my sanctuary, they saw as theirs to claim. Enough. The realization dawned slow, like sunrise after a storm. I wasn't their doormat anymore. My inner voice, long silenced, whispered fiercely, "You deserve peace, dignity, boundaries." I straightened my back, feeling a quiet strength uncoil. My revenge was silent, a shadow moving in the night. That evening, with Henry by my side, his hand warm on mine, I called the lawyer. We revised the will, removing Michael's name, leaving everything to charity and Henry's children from his first marriage, kind souls who'd visited during my illness. I canceled the life insurance policy where he was beneficiary, the papers rustling like dry leaves. Next, the bank accounts, joint access revoked with a few keystrokes, the screen glowing in the dim study. I changed the locks on the doors, the new keys cold and shiny in my palm, symbols of reclaimed control. No dramatic scenes, just quiet cuts, severing the ties that bound me in pain. I packed a box of his old things, toys, photos, and left it on the porch, the wind whispering farewell. Loneliness? It visited, but dignity chased it away. I gardened again, feeling earth between my fingers, planting roses that would bloom red and defiant. The climax came 2 weeks later. Michael pounded on the door, his face red, Sarah trailing behind like a shadow. "What the hell, Mom?" The lawyer called. "You've cut me out," he bellowed through the screen. I opened it a crack, my voice steady as stone. "You asked me to betray Henry, to lie, to destroy. That's not family." He blustered, blame-shifting. "You're being manipulated. Sarah said you'd regret this." She nodded, eyes wide in feigned innocence. "We were just protecting you." Begging followed. "Please, Mom, think of the grandkids." But I saw the manipulation, clear as daylight. "No more," I said softly, closing the door. Click. The lock turned, final as a period at the end of a long sentence. Now, peace wraps around me like a warm shawl. I sit by the window, watching ocean waves if we drive to the coast, their rhythm a reminder that life ebbs and flows. Or the sunrise over the garden, flowers blooming where weeds once choked. The empty chair at the table? It's for me now, for quiet mornings with tea that tastes of freedom. Henry's laughter fills the house, mending what was broken. I've learned, dear listener, that sacrifice without appreciation is a chain. Betrayal by those you love cuts deep, but reclaiming your worth heals deeper. Set boundaries like walls around a garden. Let go of what poisons your soil. Karma? It comes quiet in the justice of a life well lived. Dignity isn't given, it's taken back. And in that, I found my empowerment blooming late but true.